Hi everyone, it's Veronica. Welcome back to the Fallout 4 Undie run. When we last left off, I just defeated Kellogg and stepped outside to see the Pridwin hovering in the air above me. I thought I had more to add to that actually. No, that's the thing, that's the preamble. Done, we can just get on with it. Beating Fallout 4 in my underwear, part 3. Also, something else I want to mention. Last time I was toying with the idea of raising the difficulty because I've been finding things relatively easy up until that point. I didn't realise I'd actually already risen the difficulty when I was in the hardware store. I completely forgot I did that. So yeah, it turns out I've been playing on hard difficulty for a lot longer than I thought I had. It will actually contextualise some of the things that happened in this particular video. Anyway, let's get on with it. I returned to Nick Valentine to inform him that I wasn't exactly successful in finding my kid. I was successful at murdering Kellogg though, which was good. Unfortunately, he's the only man with inside knowledge on how to get into the Institute. Luckily, I've got a bit of the brain on me, so we head to Good Neighbor and speak to Dr. Amari, who can extract memories. You know how this bit goes by now. We look in Kellogg's memories, we see the Institute uses a teleporter, learn of a man named Brian Virgil hiding in the glowing sea, then we have to head out to the glowing sea. I head back to the Red Rocket to prepare myself for the coming trip. I decide I want to make some glowing blood packs because they give you a decent boost to radiation resistance. Sadly, I don't have all the parts I need just yet. I go below the Red Rocket to kill the glowing mole rat that sometimes spawns in the hope that it will drop some irradiated blood, and thankfully it does. I then decide a quick quest to level up is probably not a bad idea, so I return to Paladin Dance and his team to see what I can do. I figured that Scribe Halen's would be the thing that's easier to do because all she does is send you to a place to find a thing. Sadly, when I took the quest this time, she was trying to send me to Far Harbour to get it, and I didn't want to do that. So I spoke to Reese instead. At his request, I slaughter the feral ghouls in the nearby College Square station. Whilst doing the slaughter, I hit level 14 and take the first rank of the rad-resistant perk. It doesn't take me long to clear out the station. When I'm done, I head back to Reese for my reward, then speak to Paladin Dance because I kinda want to go to the Pridwin because I feel like I might support the Brotherhood this time. Honestly, I think I just wanted to ride an Vertibird again. It's been so long since I've done this. I don't spend terribly long here. I just sort of introduce myself to Elder Max and then make my way back to the Commonwealth in order to head to the Glowing Sea. On my way, there are more ferals to blast, also a couple of blood bugs, and even a nice friendly Yaogwai. Thank fuck for Fallout AI. It was smooth sailing from there until I hit the edge of the glowing sea. As you can imagine, I was a little bit nervous. I didn't have a radiation suit on me or any sort of power armor to protect myself from the rads. All I had was the drugs I'd accumulated. I was also dreading any sort of Deathclaw encounter, as you can probably imagine. For the most part, I just kept myself low and tried to avoid confrontations. Some rad scorpions did spot me, and after a bit of a fight, I ended up just running away from them, and that worked. That worked. Until it didn't. God, I don't like these things. Things were going smoothly enough from there until I encounter his mate and have to repeat the entire cycle over again. Luckily, his buddy here didn't take anywhere near as many rounds to put down, although I was using my 44. Do you know what's weird? This part southwest of the crater where the Children of Atom are sat in doesn't irradiate you at all. I spent a while just trying to sneak past the Deathclaw that's napping outside Virgil's cave because I didn't think I could rely on the same glitch happening twice. If you've watched my Switchblade run, you'll know what I mean. Once inside the cave, I talk to Virgil. He says you have to hunt a Corsair, so I go out and hunt a Corsair. Would you believe the building where you find the Corsair that's overflowing with gunners was actually kind of a bad place to be in only your underwear? Would you believe this was the smoothest part of the operation? Now at level 15, I take the next rank of Gunslinger and continue my way through the building. Like in the glowing sea, I edge myself forward bit by bit, trying to avoid getting shot at by too many people at once. This cautious approach was working for a while. I even successfully pull off a couple of sneak attacks here and there. I have a number of close calls, luckily the missile launcher person doesn't blow me up this time. Things were going sort of in my favour, until they weren't. After I've reincarnated again, I'm able to kill the group of gunners that got me last time, only for the next group to utterly stomp my shit in. Once I'm alive again, I take it even slower this time. The problem is, I'm fighting my basic instincts, which is to just run through the building guns blazing. Luckily, once I start slowing down, things go well for a little while. I'm able to dispatch the gunners without too much trouble. I do have a few more close calls, but I'm quick saving after every group of gunners I kill, so it's not too bad if I do end up dying again. By the time I got to the final group of gunners, I was a little concerned about my 44's ammo reserves, or lack thereof, because I'd hoped to use the pistol against the Corsair because it has the most stopping power of any of my guns. It was only at this point that I realised that I'd forgotten to restock before I took on the building. I did get a laser rifle that poisons people out of killing a legendary gunner though, so it's not all bad. Like with Kellogg, when I get to the Corsair, I don't let him talk first, I just go straight into combat. Here's how that fight went. The next fight didn't go much better. Alright, come on, third time's the charm. Fucking finally! This building was lethal and I'm glad to be done with it. It's now time to get the Corsa chip examined. Obviously Amari can't help you, so she sends you in the direction of the railroad, which means I'll have to go through downtown Boston. Now, it wasn't the fact that the enemies in downtown Boston are quite numerous and are constantly fighting each other as well as you, meaning you've got to keep your focus divided on multiple different things. No, it's the fact that the game can't handle running this area most of the time, and it's gonna crash a lot. You motherfucker. I rebooted the game and repeated my steps. Luckily the game auto-saved after I exited Good Neighbor, so I didn't have far to travel, although it didn't take long for the game to freeze on me. Once again I have to stop and restart the game because Bethesda games, and whilst the game is loading I make a bit of a plan of action. I won't be going through downtown Boston this time, instead I'm going to go around the perimeter and see if that works. For as many times as I've played Fallout 4 you'd think I'd remember that downtown Boston is just sort of a no-go area after a certain point in the game. Well, actually, no, it's just a no-go area to begin with. The game can't handle everything that's going on down there, because, again, Bethesda. Luckily, for the most part, you can avoid it when just sticking to the critical path in the game. On my journey, I encounter a legendary crab, and after I kill it, I see it was carrying a legendary piece of armor. Fuck you, crab. Further down the way I have a shootout with some raiders, which goes pretty well for me, although I am getting a little bit too close to the Boston city centre again for my liking, so as soon as I'm done with them I try to move away quickly. Although without incurring any further issues I managed to get to the Old North Church and head inside. I kill the feral ghouls who are waiting in the catacombs for me, solve the easiest puzzle in the world, and see Desdemona again. We use the railroad to get the Corsa chip decoded, and once we do we head back to Virgil. He gives us the plans for the signal interceptor, then I go to the Brotherhood of Steel hoping to get their help building the bloody thing. Unfortunately, Maxon doesn't actually want me to do this yet. I've still got to meet the rest of the crew aboard the Pridwin and basically prove my loyalty to the Brotherhood of Steel before he'll help me, you know, fight the greatest enemy that the Brotherhood is currently facing. So I do the rounds and meet the crew, it goes well. I then go to speak to Maxon again, but he's still not ready to let me build the signal interceptor because we've got something else to deal with first. Now, the main reason I don't usually side with the Brotherhood of Steel when playing this game is because they are extremely prejudiced against basically everything that isn't human. Super mutants and simps are their two least favourite things in the world. They see them as an abuse of technology and power, but it still rubs me the wrong way, and I'm already kind of reconsidering wanting to stick around with the Brotherhood for this long. Anyway, the mission he's giving me is to clear out an old pre-war fort that's full of super mutants, and I'll get to use a minigun on a behemoth, so I figured, you know what? Sure, let's just do it. The big behemoth goes down without much of a struggle. It's the super mutants on ground level I have to worry about once I get out of the helicopter. With the outside secure, I can now head inside, but it's not much better inside. There are some even tougher mutants within. They seem to really hate the idea of a human being in their clubhouse, though I can't really blame them, we usually fuck everything up. This guy gave me quite a bit of trouble though. It's always good to see that legendary enemy star and the little "this enemy is too tough for you" skull next to the health bar. Fills you full of confidence, that. At least now I understand why my character's underwear isn't exactly a clean white. After a while of trading blows, the fucker finally goes down and I can proceed to the basement, which is also crawling with super mutants, one of which has a rocket launcher. Yay! Seriously, thank God for critical hits. With the area finally secure, I can now head back to Elder Maxon and discuss the signal interceptor like I wanted to. I get to work building the platform at the airport. Obviously we still need a couple of parts that the Brotherhood just doesn't have lying around. Luckily, thanks to my kleptomania, I'm able to just return to the Red Rocket and fish out all the parts we need from my big pile of junk. The only thing I didn't have was a biometric scanner, but luckily Daisy and Goodneighbor had one for a relatively cheap price. Now I can finish building the platform as well as the metric fuckton of generators you'll need to power the bloody thing. And finally we can step onto the platform and be teleported into the Institute, and that is where we're going to call it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this next episode of the little series. Next time we'll be in the Institute and you'll notice a change to my character slightly because, you know what, you'll see what it is. You'll see what it is. I don't really have anything to say in this bit. Like, share, subscribe, all that crap. Patreon, T-Mill. Check out links in description. Yeah, that's it. Have a wonderful day, my lovelies. I will see you next time. By the way, I do realise that I forgot to ask you to type something in the comments before I got done making the original audio. I don't know, type something like Assaultron Senpai. Type that. Bye.